Okay, the Chamisha B'Shvat is mit der Kasche. And Baruch Hashem, Shabbos is eingefallen at Teretz. And that was my drasha. Shabbos was a little lumdische Teretz on this Kasche. So he asked me I should record it. So record it. Let's just remind again. If you look in Birchas Hanan at the end, say the Birchas Hanan, it's all the way at the end. It's page Tavshin Chofei. So here's the din that's negated to Chamisha but the Peiris. He says, Araya pri chodesh ha-mischadesh mishana l'shana, or afilu shnei pamim b'shana. V'nana b'riyasa, he has a know from seeing it, v'varash ha'chiyana. Afilu re'eyu b'yad chaverei, he sees it, not he, it's his. Yena hotas, but he saw the painting. Oyal Elin is he has to make the shechiyana. V'im eina nana b'riyasa, eina mavarach at shas achila. V'aylam nagu, shalei mavarach b'chol inyan, ad shas achila. Kidei shalei l'chalek by misha nana b'riyasa l'misha lei nana. Then he said, here's the chiddush. V'yivarach tchil shechiyanu, v'achakach by the priya eitz. So if you notice here on the bottom, he brings over here that this is a prima godam, she prima godam, Eishel Avram, and there's others that don't agree with the Alter Rebbe the prima godam. In fact, the Be'er Hativ in Shulchan Aruch and Shema Reish Chof Hei, where it talks these dinim. So over there, he says no, that you have to make first by the pre-eight, you have to make first by the pre-eight and then Shechuyonu. But this is the Alter Rebbe Shita. You notice right over here says Urei Gamul Kamen. Look also on the next page, Peirig Yud Beis, Halacha Yud Gimel, is it? Yeah, Halacha Yud Gimel. Okay, so turn the page. And here he talks about the dinim of Atayva HaMeitav. Atayva HaMeitav is the difference between Shechuyonu and Atayva HaMeitav is Shechuyonu is if it was happened to you, if it's your simcha, a personal simcha, and Atayva HaMeitav is if it's also a simcha to other people also. So Marshall, he says over here, so now, if you're drinking wine in the middle of a Suda, if you didn't make Kiddush before, you make Kiddush before, you don't have to make a bracha on the wine in the middle of Suda. But if you're drinking wine in the middle of Suda, so you have to make a bracha by the Priya Gofen. Now he says, Ashinu Yayin, what's that Shinu Yayin? The Hainu, Shemabim Lahavi Mimenu Lishtais Miminim Shainim, that they're bringing more wines. You had one bottle of wine on the table. Now, in the middle of the bringing, Oy Mikelim Shainim, the Hainu Shasheni Hu Mechoves Acheres, Shafilu Hu Mimin Yayin Harishan. Let's say they're both the same wine. Of Nechshav Kemin Yayin Acher. Tzarech u'varech al sheni, kaidem sheyitem mimenu, baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu malchayim, hatayv ha'meitiv. Then he goes on to say, B'af al pi shehu be'inyan she'ein tzarech u'varech al bar pri ha'gofen, because you made ha'gofen, let's say, on the first wine that you drank. So just because you have another cup, you don't have to make another time bar pri ha'gofen. Kagain v'nei chaburam v'subim eitzel bal bayis v'datam v'chila akol marshi yovei l'hem bal bayis. So that means that this when normally when you're eating let's say someone goes into a luncheonette, okay, and he orders, let's say, a glass of water. You have to make a bracha, shakel, water. We're not talking that he washed. Then let's say you ask the waiter, could you bring me also like a glass of orange juice? So you'd have to make a bracha on the orange juice. You made it a shakel, but you didn't have it in mind when you make the first shakel. You decided later that you want to drink something else. If someone invites you to breakfast, and he serves you something to breakfast, but you're relying on him, what he's going to serve you during the breakfast. So if you had the marshal eggs and you made a shakel on the eggs, and afterwards he brought you, let's say, an orange juice, you don't have to make a bracha, a shakel, because you relied on your eating al das balabayas. So then, and he explains it. So you wouldn't have to make. Now he goes back to before, and he explains that's the quality of wine. Wine is mesameach. Tiknu chacham ala bracha. Eid bracha. Keshem besimcha lahavi. Okay. Now you skip a line, and he says, "V'imhu be'inyan shetzarach la'asach avara b'der priagofen." If it was a way that you had to, let's say you're sitting in a bar, and you order another wine, and they bring another wine, is al hashem on the second one. Kagain benimlach, when he changed his mind. Yivarach tchila hatayva ameita v'achakach b'der priagofen. So that's why they take on his own, because you see over here the same chiddush. You would think that you should make first b'der priagofen and then hatayva ameita. So he says no, you make first hatayva ameita and then b'der priagofen. And he also takes on another din in Shulchan Aruch in Hilchos Tzitzis. Go back to Hilchos Tzitzis. Look, Chav Beis.
Das ist, wir sehen jetzt ist Tzitzis.
Yeah.
Welcher Simen?
Chav Beis. There's only one sif in the whole Chav Beis. So he talks over here. He talks over here about a beggar of tzitzis. He says that it's already ready. It's not just a piece of raw material. Now we don't do that because by us it's not a beggar. It's not so choshev today. I'm all excited. The person made a new beggar. There was a big thing today. It doesn't mean anything. Ubeshas asiyas atzitzis, when he makes the tzitzis in this choshev, a piece of material, lo yivorach klum. Aval kona beged v'osa mimenu mabushim. If he bought a piece of material and he made garments out of it, ein mevorach shechiyana b'shas hakniya, sharei adayin ein lo simcha mehem. That when he bought it, he didn't make the mabushim. He made the mabushim after he bought it. Now he says, if when he put in the tzitzis, he didn't make a bracha on the beggar. Oy she'ein bebeged al campus. It wasn't yet the complete thesis. She'ein a matal by tzitzis klal. You don't have to put in tzitzis. So yivor shechiyanu be'ez levisha rishayna. Kaidem sheyivor l'shate v'tzitzis. So he says here b'feidish that when does he say the shechayonu? Before he makes the bracha on mitzvah tzitzis. So they're comparing this to the same thing of shechayonu. Just like over there by the pri, he says, you make...
Dat verstehe ik niet.
Ja, had niet gezitzes in het alles.
Wat?
Denk nou, trouwens, hij maakt met zitzes. Maakt er een staat met zitzes dan? Hij zei, bebergen dan, kan vis zijn, maakt met zitzes klaar.
Ja.
En speelt ook maakt er een brochen.
He's talking about a Taurus garden.
Dat gaat
He's talking about Taurus garden. He's not talking about Taurus garden. So you make a bracha, but when do you make the bracha? First you make shechayonu, and then you make the bracha. So this is they're comparing the three things. So the tam, why you make first shechayonu in all these three cases, is the Pri Megadim says because it's an earlier bracha, because you were already mechuyev shechayonu before you ate the peri. When you saw it, you could have made shechayonu. So it's an earlier thing.
He speaks about Hateva Metiv as well?
No, he doesn't. No. The Pri Megadim talks only the din of peri, the first din that I showed you. But he said the tam is because the bracha is earlier. In other words, you had to make shechayonu already before. And you're waiting with it till you eat the peri. So that's why later you make the peri. And that's why others disagree with this here. Because others hold that we say, Toda v'shena Toda koidem. That it's more common to make a bracha of bar pi'etz than a bracha shechayonu. So that's why you should make first bar pi'etz and then the bracha shechayonu.
Is that the Bayer Heitev holds like that?
The Bayer Heitev holds that way. And he brings from the Lukute Halacha, in Halachas Ketanas it's called. He brings it, you'll see in the Mishnah Brura, he brings it. So we asked on this here, that if you go now to Siman Zion, go back to Siman Zion, and the last Siman Zion, it's on page Chavtes, but turn the page, on page Lamed. On Lamed, it says, Misha ocho dover shetzorech avora bracha achreinu, v'shochach, v'lei bidach, v'hitu mayim, v'hisken, he reminded himself, koidem shebidach asher yotza, and now he has two brachas in front of him. So over here he says, Yivorech tchila asher yotza, v'achakach habracha achreinu. Why? V'bnei shetoda koidem u'she'ena toda. So you see over here two things. First of all, you see that if one bracha was before and one bracha was later,
we don't.
We say no. We go according to the rule Toda Shena Toda Kaidem. So why is it that over here by the fruit, the Alter Rebbe doesn't hold from the Toda Shena Toda, even and he paskin that you do the shechayonu because it's a bracha kedemus. Okay. So I said Shabbos a very simple hezbollah. The truth is, it depends what the situation is. When you have an item, a chayfetz or an item, and on that chayfetz, you have to make two brachas. So then, the Rebbe's sheet is that if one bracha is earlier than the other one, you go according to the earlier one. We don't say Toda Sheina Toda. However, if you have two brachas in front of you, that the two brachas are not connected one with another, then we say, which one should you make first? You should make Toda, the one that's Toda.
Sounds good.
Okay, now, so let's go weiter, okay? So B'meil over here by the tzitzis, over here it's talking that you made the material, you made it, and you're not using it yet. So when you made it, you should have made the shechayonu. So it's one item, a talus gadol or a talus gadol, one item, and you have a shayla now. Which one of the two brachas on this item should we make earlier? You make the one that was mechuyev earlier. I'm going to say it's further now. I don't have an exact proof that it can sein that the lashon over here by the wine with a taiva hametev could be that the pshat is state to say ashina yayin the kishemabem wahavi mimenu lishtais minim shainim. What's the dig over here? Kishemabem wahavi lishtais minim shainim. So Mustamad out that ever holds that really that type of mate you should have made when they brought in, when you see the coming in with a new bottle of wine, you should have made a type of mate. And we wait with that type of mate till when you drink the wine. So B'mei say it's two brachas on one item on a glass of wine. There's two brachas on a glass of wine. B'mei you go according to the bracha that you had to make before. The same as like by the paydi with the shecharion. Over there, it was when you saw the paydi, and over here is when they brought the wine. So now, everything seems very good. But there's one problem. I'm making a chiluk if you have one item, or if you have two separate brachas that are not connected. Okay? So now turn to Siman Kuf Samach Hey. Kuf Samach Hey. Then it's page Tov Lametes. You got it? Look the first halacha here. Shet halacha zeh. Ha'oiseh tzrachav v'roitzel lecho. So what should he do? You have to wash his hands for going to the bathroom and wash his hands for the suda. He says, the Rebbe comes up with an interesting pshat, an interesting eitzah. Yito beis b'omim. He should wash his hands 2 times. Rishayna yito netila she'ena machsheres lachila el lindkais yadav levarach asher yatsa ushniya netila kesheira levarach al netila shadayim. Okay, that means that this when someone goes to the bathroom, Marshal, you come out of the bathroom, you don't have to wash 3 times on each hand. We feel it that way, but you're not really going to do it. If you wash your hands 1 time, it's also genug. So B'mele, he's saying that they let him wash his hands first 1 time, and make a bracha of Asher Yotza, and then continue washing and make a bracha to finish the 3 times and make a bracha on the Tila Shaddai. Now that the Rebbe wants to tell you an interesting thing. Why am I telling to do this way? So he says, listen to why the reason of it. She'im yitol netila akas k'sheira ifil v'yivarech tchila sheyotza. So it'll be Kach on the Tila Shadayim, Yehefsek when the Tila Lubracha. So it'll be a show of a Hefsek. Okay. Now, look there's a parenthesis here. In the parenthesis, he says, let's start again from the beginning of the line. She'im yitol Tila Achas Kisheira v'yivarech asher yotza. Why? He said, Mipnei she'nis chayev bo tchila. What's it got to do chayev b'chila? We just said that when there are 2 different brachas or for 2 different inyonim, it's not the same as by the paydi. By the paydi you go chayev b'chila because the paydi requires 2 brachas. But what is over here? Why is over here got to do 2 brachas? Over here is 2 separate brachas. What? So chayre, that's a steer to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Huh?
I have something to say about that.
What do you want to say?
Nischai b'tchila, even if it's two brachas, does have something. But if we have toder, sheni toder, we would go rather than sheni toder.
no,
That's why Dal Rebbe says both reasons.
Guck weiter.
That's why he says both reasons.
V'oid, shehi tedira. Why did Alter Rebbe got to give two svaras?
Because.
No, why does he need two svaras?
Because. Shenischai b'tchila is a valid reason.
But not over here.
It is valid.
But not over here.
It's not pshat. If it's two items, Nischai b'tchila does not take any consideration. If it's contradicting to toder sheni toder, I would say we don't go by tchila, we go by toder sheni toder.
So the Alter Rebbe,
no, there's better
the
zachen.
Alter Rebbe could have started without the word v'oid. It just says shehi tedira.
The Nischai b'tchila, it has validity always. But if it's contradicting to toder sheni toder,
So
I say if I can,
according to you, this may be the same thing as the Shechayonu. According to you, this may be the same thing as Shechayonu. So I'm saying no. This is why did what we were mechalik was that when do we say it was mugdam? It came first. If the two brachos are on one inyan, on one apple, on one beged, right? The shayla about the Alter Rebbe is over here. Is this considered one or is this considered two? Because you're making the bracha on the Natilah Shadayim. So mega, if we say that the Natilah Shadayim is the inyan, is like the apple. So if it's the apple, so it's two brachas on a Natilah Shadayim. So therefore, it could be a svara that he should do it, make the Ashiyatza first, because it's Chayva Tchila. Or you could say that is these two brothers got nothing to do one with the other. And B'melu, so that's what Alter Rebbe gives both svaras. One svara is if you want to say that if it comes first, so you have to make the bracha that comes first. And what, because two brothers on one inyan, what? Natilah Shadayim, that's the apple. Or you want to say this is not like the apple. This is over there. The two brachas are mamish shaykh to the apple, but over here the two brachas have nothing to do one with another. If you say so, we don't. That call doesn't apply. So he said, "V'oid the next shoot the dira because it's harder."
Yeah.
Okay.